My face is close.
I kept it tight. Look at tight. Oh, I got it right doing that too.
Oh my goodness. Woo! You guys have missed Jennifer Lynch's face, and hopefully my face too, because God knows we haven't done a reality in
17 long years.
17 long years.
Or weeks.
Or weeks,
or
yeah.
days.
Anyway, hi friends.
Hi.
How are you guys on this faithful Wednesday? I don't know. Anyway.
I love that. It's disgusting, the energy that's in this office today. Mm-hmm. We'll just said it best. It's too much positive energy for me. It really is.
Yeah.
You'd think that we're striving or something right now.
But it's almost like we're actually going insane. That's what it is. We're slowly going insane. If you would have seen Jennifer's story the other day on the Instagrams where she asked, what was the question that you asked?
I don't know. What did I ask?
You're like, who cried more?
Oh, yeah. Was that Monday?
I think so.
Yeah.
Monday.
Who kicked, screamed, and cried more. And it was Nicole like doing a shimmy in the background. And I was like pulling my hair out. And the answer was...
me. I was the one. I literally cried all day on Monday, guys. It was a mix between screaming and crying.
Yeah.
It was a whole day, a whole mood.
Yeah. The emotion just gotta come out sometimes,
So
you know?
true. Yeah. It's
I'm probably gonna lose it next week because this week I'm like, oh, choose happiness.
Right, choose happiness. You can only choose happiness so much, guys. Sometimes you just gotta choose violence.
It's got me.
Oh, it's true.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So why were you sad last week? And we're gonna spin this in a positive way. Bet.
Was I sad last
This week.
Oh, this week. I mean, because I just feel like everything that can go wrong goes wrong all at the same time.
It's
you know, listings that aren't getting multiple offers anymore.
So let's dive into that real quick. So everybody, well, you guys aren't on the forefront of this, right? You're consumers, you're people who just follow the news or whatever, and it's like, oh man, everything is selling so crazy and multiple offers, and you can just throw your house on the market and you won't have to do inspections and anything else. Well, let me tell you, about 3 weeks ago.
That was like 16 days ago.
Yeah, about 16 days ago, that all changed. And there's a reason why it changed. It changed because the rates have
5.25
are at 5.25 right now, which historically is still low, right? But whenever you put 5.25 with the inflation from last year, now you have a really bad affordability problem. Yeah. And so people who were able to afford these beautiful single family homes, and it wasn't that big of a deal because rates were in the twos, now they can't because their payments are $1,000 more than what they were previously, and that knocks people. I mean, that's a huge issue.
It's massive.
Yeah. So, like for instance, we have two absolutely gorgeous homes Jen does for listings, and tell them about the story about when they first came on the market versus where we are now.
Literally the weekend before we turned live, we were getting off-market calls. You know, will your sellers take sight unseen? Yada yada yada, the whole nine, right? And my sellers, they want everybody to have a fair chance. It wasn't so much of them wanting to be greedy and get every dollar they could get. Sure, that's always like motivation to get as much as you can, but they really wanted every buyer to have the opportunity to see their home. Mm-hmm. Well, then we turned active.
Yeah. Which you would think, like all of the... Crickets. Yeah. Hey, Q. She says, hello, ladies.
Morning, Q.
Yeah. So you would think with all this is like, all right, great feedback, great calls, like this is all wonderful. It's gonna, we're not gonna have any problems whatsoever. And then crickets. But what makes it even worse is like, how many showings were you getting?
Well, the one at 8 in the mid 8s, she got 5 in the first weekend. Which at that price point, not bad. Mm-hmm. And then
Will's got the death stare. He's over here looking at TikTok.
And then the Embry in the mid 6s. Embry mid 6s. It was about 7 that first weekend. But what we saw happen when we turned live is more inventory was coming too. So it was no longer the demand factor. Buyers then started to have choices like that. Yep. Choices in inventory, but not so many choices in price because the rates were going up, so they had to
For sure. Vicky says good morning, and so does Veronica.
Oh, Veronica,
good morning, beautifuls.
Good morning. Well, way to kick up a fuss on a Wednesday. Betcha, kitten.
Yeah. Yeah, but the crickets, we had the showings and the feedback that was coming in. The home shows beautifully. Like Veronica, who's on here right now, she staged one of the properties for us, and it was. I was going to say one of them she did stage. Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. And so it just
fabulous feedback.
Yeah, fabulous feedback.
Nothing
Nothing
about
overpriced.
price.
It's just I think people have gotten out there, and now with everything that people have been going through over the last couple of months versus now there's this halt in the market. You've gotten offers on them recently, and they're weird. Like, it's just weird. It's like we've been on for less than 30 days, which historically is great. Yeah, under 21, which is historically great. But because people were conditioned to think that things are going to move so fast, it's like, well, I can offer you $50,000 less. I can offer you, which is nuts.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
that's the part that's like, you got some audacity. You know what I'm saying? We ain't 90 days on market.
We are not 90 days on market.
Bananas.
But it's like, it's the stigmatism that comes along with this stuff whenever you were in an unrealistic market to begin with.
Yeah.
Prior. So it's like my eyes twitching. Oh my God, my eye just started twitching again. Like every time I think about this stuff, and it's because we get wrapped up, emotionally with our buyers and our sellers, and we want to win for them as much as they want to win, and it's hard to manage the because none of us expected this. Like, it's hard to manage expectations in a market where you didn't see this coming, and it was just like a freaking light switch, guys. It was just like, dude.
Yeah. What I will say is, lesson learned. I'm gonna tell every seller, like, yeah, we can get multiples, or you can get nothing,
or you can get nothing.
Just prepare them for the extremities on both ends.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Yeah.
But we've made some adjustments on both with marketing. Kind of up the marketing strategy a bit on both, and showings have increased. And knock on wood, but offers are coming.
Yeah,
that's me
so
looking
it's
for
like, right. So there definitely is a different pricing strategy that goes into things now. Yeah. There is a different. So I guess about 6 months ago, whenever we were going on listing consults, I was like, listen, there's a lot of stuff that you don't even have to worry about. Like, just, it's fine. People are going to take it as is. This is just cosmetic stuff. So don't worry about having your carpet stretched. Don't worry about doing X, Y, and Z, because it's going to sell regardless. And now it's a different conversation. Like, we went on 4 listing appointments in the last week, and it's the same conversation every time. Like, we're doing full blown consults of like here's where we're running our contractor through. Everything needs to be fixed. It is, it's just, we're going back to where, personally, where East and Ivy thrived, because that's where our
Well, and we never, to be clear, we're cutting corners.
No, ever.
Because we still have a certain product that has to be presented for our brand and for our clients. So we're never going to be that company that's like, oh yeah, just throw it up there. We'll take a few iPhone photos. Like, nah, dog. We still have all the professionalism that comes with what we do.
For sure. It's just more so like, do you need to spend the $600 to stretch the carpet in 2 bedrooms whenever the answer is right now it's no, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's all about the seller. Like, for us, whenever we're representing a seller, it's all about the seller and keeping the most money in their pocket. Yeah. So.
And at the end of the day, somebody's going to come and rip that carpet anyway.
Somebody's going to rip the carpet out, so it's fine. But now it's different. Now it's like, I was somewhere on Saturday, and I'm like, all right, well, we've got to look at repainting the whole house. It's beautiful for how you live, but we need to, we need to get this more neutral. We had Jose going through one of the properties down in Stafford 2 days yesterday. I don't know what day it is. It was Tuesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's just like, it's different. So we're back to where we thrive.
Yeah.
I just wish we would have saw it coming and it wouldn't have hit us like a bus out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like an 18-wheeler.
Yeah. So how are you doing with your buyers right now? Because Jen has been notoriously working with a lot of buyers where I thought she was going to quit real estate for a minute, to be perfectly honest.
This is it. Ain't no money in bodybuilding. We're going to sell houses. How are we doing? Well, I have managed to get those that were very active under contract. Yay, 1 week we wrote 6 offers for one buyer. Woo! Average 1 a day. It was awesome. But there were actually 2 that it came down to. Like, you were winners. So then they had to pick which house they wanted, which is an amazing feeling.
Well, what a turn of events.
Yeah, super dramatic. And then I've got somebody else I'm heading out with today. The price point, it's competitive.
What is the price point that is competitive?
$250.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a condo, so it's not that it's like a lower budget per se. Like, condo fees add up, so it's still you get a lot of retirees with cash at that point for condo living.
For sure.
So that's kind of what we're up against. So we wrote on one last week and got outbid by 2 others that escalated. And then we wrote another one yesterday. So we'll see. Tomorrow is the deadline.
That's the price point that is basically anything like $450 and below. For us, it's still absolutely bonkers. You know, it's like people coming out of the woodwork, but mostly because it's like, you know, 20 days ago they were able to afford $100,000 more than they can afford now. So it's that knocks people, pushes them out of this price point and then down into this price point. And then another weird thing that I saw with the anomaly is like Will got a house under contract this weekend. It was 930. I think 935 was
that the beauty in Stafford?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I commented on the IG and I was like, delicious.
Yeah, it's stunning.
So pretty.
Yeah. The owners. It's actually represented by the 1245 team. So shout out to you guys. Sean, you guys are awesome down there. Thank you. But anyway, they had multiple offers on it, and it's like, but it's
at 9?
At 9 in Stafford. Yeah. So it's an interesting place. And then another one, we were gonna write on a 1.2 up in Nokesville this weekend, and like we're like, but unfortunately we had to have a home sale contingency with it, and it's like, you know, it's like we want this so bad. The house is beautiful. They're beautifully financially qualified, but we have to reinstate VA eligibility in order for them to be able to do this. And like I had been talking to the listing agent every single day, and she is wonderful, and so like, in fact,
so far,
yeah, and she really is wonderful. But unfortunately for my folks, but yay for her sellers, they ended up getting a offer that they couldn't refuse, and that's at 1.2. So
I don't know why I'm acting surprised to that.
It's this middle price point that everybody's just like, yeah. It's like anything over 1, you're Gucci. Anything below 450, at least here in this market, obviously it's relative wherever you are.
Yeah. Well, that's like my I'm not going to name drop them, but one of my clients who's in the Millmark, that like 1.1 to 1 1/4 is their comfort. They're approved for way more, but you know, don't nobody want to be house poor. I get it.
True.
Yeah, we were starting to cut their search down to like 900, 875, knowing that we'd be escalating to right over like that one, right over 1 mil, 1.1. And we've written on 4 together. And each time we've gone up to pretty much 1 1/4 and lost. Yeah. Because somebody is guaranteeing a $75,000 appraisal gap. Like,
and that's exactly what happened with the house that I was talking about at the 1.2. It was, they came in with a perfect offer. It was beautiful, no contingencies. And it's like, you can't not take that whenever, even though, you know, other factors might be taken into consideration, but it's wild out there right now. It's like, you don't know. Casey. Right, you have a good idea. What is Casey? Hi, honey. Oh, hey.
You do your 25 push-ups today, Casey?
I love watching that man do his little push-ups every day.
He's so cute. He comes back with a smile. But I mean, to wrap that up, the whole like appraisal gap difference. You know, Babo, a VA appraiser, he calls me about once a week. Babo's my dad. Calls about once a week to say kind words about what's going on in the market right now, and he's had a couple things come in. I mean, he pushes to get things to appraise. No appraiser wants a report to come in low.
I don't know. Some of them I feel.
It makes their job so much harder because then they have to go back out. They have to pull more comps. They have they are faced with possible complaints.
Right.
Like there's so much that goes behind what they do too. But he's telling me about some where he couldn't get it. He couldn't get gaps to close, and like we're talking like $80,000 to $90,000 differences.
Wow!
And these people have guaranteed the gap.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're gonna be in the house for the next 30, if you're gonna die there, cool. But most of my people are moving like every 5 to 7 years. Yeah. So yes, our values will continue to go up in this area, but you know, you have to weigh what it's worth, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's for you all to figure out.
Right.
Not us.
And when we talk about these rates, I mean, the rates aren't going down anytime soon, guys. Yeah. Like they're expected to go up to around 7s by the end of this year. And so my thought process on this is because like I'm always in the market to be looking to purchase something. So even if I was to go in there and I was to buy something right now, I would be okay with the rates how they are, understanding that eventually they will go back down.
Yeah.
Refi. And so then you just refi.
Yeah.
You know, or look at an ARM. I mean, I know that that's like basically a 4-letter word, even though it's only a 3-letter word. But like, look at the ARMs and see. I think the ARMs are in the 4s right now. So if you did a 7-year ARM, you know, refi it by the end of that 7 years, and you'll be okay. Most people refi anyway. I mean, I've been in my house for
5 years.
5 years, and I refied twice. But that's because like I went down to, I got it at 4.2, and then I went to 3.5, and then now I'm at 2.3. So it's like you have to make sure that it works, but it's like always monitor it. So like even though the rates are scary today, as long as you can afford it today, then just know that you're still going to be in a better position, because the difference now is the home values aren't going to crash.
Yeah.
So all right,
I already had this conversation with my Uber driver yesterday. Is it a good time to buy? Can you afford it? Then yeah,
it's a good time to buy. because the price at the end of the day, like the price is still going to be going up.
Yeah.
So I was like, when's the best time to buy a house? Yesterday and today. You know?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Good times though.
Yeah.
Good times. Crazy time to be alive. We love it.
Yeah, crazy time to be alive for sure. I mean, I don't regret any of it. I love this.
No.
I love this market. I love it more than anything. And actually, it's one of the reasons why, like, you see my fun little place hat, and the reason why I rep it so hard is because, like, these are the conversations that we get to get in all of the time with people across the country. So we don't just have to see what's going on in our little market. We get to see what's going on in Texas and California and Washington and New York. And like, I was on the phone with California this morning. New Jersey. And then North Carolina yesterday with just talking about what we see in our different respective markets. So, yeah, shout out to the Place family. You guys are awesome, and you give me a lot of confidence to know what's going on, because what I learned is that things tend to start on the East Coast and then move that way. And so,
interesting.
yeah, that's what Texas told me. I was like, I had no idea because we're in the thick of it. So it's like things tend to start here, and we're about a 2 week behind. Yeah.
Mid-Atlantic makes sense. And you think there's so much here.
Yeah.
You know?
So many people.
Yeah.
So many people.
Oh, government.
Yeah. Yeah.
My interest, don't you?
My interest. Like, I feel like that was a lot of energy.
That was a lot. I'm like, all right, ready for a nap.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So what did you learn this weekend, Jennifer? Or this week, or the last 2 months? Anything amazing?
Oh, God. It's all a blur. I've learned things. That's just to go back to this market and like not wanting to change it or, you know, be in any other industry. I think I'm learning the most right now in real estate.
And then you have the 7 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
It's also wild to think that we've been doing this for 7 years.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember whenever we first got on there, and there's a question on the Zillow page whenever you're filling it out. It's like, how long have you been licensed? And I would never fill it out, but now I actually.
Oh, yeah. You didn't want to look like a
I didn't want to look like a green baby, but now I'm like.
I'm like 2 weeks.
Who you got? Who you got? And now it's like to think back of like the roller coaster that we've been on. It's like
and we're still babies compared to so many.
I know.
You know.
Well, like I saw Christy Cook, so I went to NAR last week. So Jennifer and I, we started out, and so did Will actually. We all started out at Long and Foster, which is a brand and a company that we have so much love and respect for, and are really phenomenal. And anyways, and we're still friends with some of our old folks that we used to do business with back then, our colleagues. And I was at the NAR legislative meetings last week, and I was standing down there talking to my Place family. Shout out. Like the Place family. Shameless plug. Anyways, and Christy walked by. And she had such a beautiful light to her, and
Always.
like we sat there, and like I almost started crying, man. She gave me the biggest hug, and then she prayed with me, and like I know, like it was really remarkable. But to be able to be like 7 years later and still have those kind of like connections and meetings, and I'm like, she's just the kindest person. Yeah. And we just did a deal with Arezzo recently, and then I talked to Aitzi yesterday. Like it's cool to be where we are and look at the journey. Yeah, from where we came from.
It's a lesson to anybody out there, any of these cutthroat agents that don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
You see, we see each other, and that's just in life too. All of us in whatever profession we're in, you see these people over and over. You never want to burn bridges. You always want to make sure that you've got, good vibes. You should never know when you're gonna need something from someone, or they're gonna need you. And power of positivity.
The power of positivity and the power of love. Like I'm on a
it's a Celine song.
Is it?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go listen to Celine.
Yeah.
You're on a what?
I'm on a self-betterment journey. Like I'm on this whole like emotional intelligence and journey with myself right now, trying to figure out what it means to actually like show up with grace and empathy for people and not care so much about how I feel about something, but to be able to react in the moment of how they need to be reacted to. So it's like trying to come and like look at everything with love is really challenging. But I'm getting so much out of it. Like, me and my tears, I'd be crying a lot over these last couple of weeks. I'm like, whoa! But yeah, that was my learning moment. Is really just like sitting with who I want to be as a human and the impact that I can have on people, and that's going to be done by grace and empathy and love and caring and listening instead of I have Jen used to, it's like, I am so blessed, guys, whenever it comes to like the people that I've surrounded myself with. I was reflecting on this the other night, whenever we first started East and Ivy, and you and Kyle actually pulled me out and were like, you have to stop. Like, you have to recognize that, like, whenever, like, whatever your energy is you're going to put that on everybody, and everybody's energy is going to change. And that's because there is this weird little light in me. I don't know if it's passion or whatever it is, but it's like, recognizing now that I'm 36 years old, like recognizing that I have great influence on, and I have to take control of that. Like that's self-regulation that I think a lot of us struggle with.
Yeah. I mean, there's just some personalities and some energies that, you feel whatever it is they're feeling, right? Intentionally or not. Like there are people who are, a little bit more like reserved and, just themselves. And if they're in a funk, you would never know. You would never take on their energy. But somebody like you or I, if we're like, burn it to the ground on the
then
inside.
It might actually burn.
Yeah. Manifest.
Manifest. People used to call Jennifer and I the glitter twins because whenever we would walk in, the power of positivity would just fall out all over the room. But it's equally as scary whenever it's fire and brimstone.
Yes. Like those are the days my shades stay on.
Right, it's like I'm not shady, but I might kill you.
Is that
today.
our Christy cut right there?
Oh, honey, we were just talking about you. Love your face. Oh,
No,
she's my favorite.
Yeah, such good people we know.
100%.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
any questions out there from TV land?
Yeah. Any questions out there from TV land? Anything that you guys are experiencing, or the realtors out there who are experiencing stuff? Kind of the stuff that we were saying. And it could be like, it's also very pocket dependent because I know that like, well, I saw Michelle, she posted something earlier this morning where she got something under contract and they were able to keep their inspections and stuff, but it's still a pretty aggressive, it's not as aggressive as it was, but it's still pretty aggressive up in Arlington.
Yeah. I mean, you still want to put your best foot forward, and I'm like, we'll see.
For sure. Well, what was your favorite moment from the last several weeks?
Oh my gosh. Pick one, because there have been a lot of great moments. Getting my VA buyer under contract, actually. Because that was the week that I was like, it's going down. I'll murder everyone. Yeah. Don't talk to me. So that was huge. And they were so excited. So freaking excited. And still are. Like, they haven't lost that enthusiasm. And, like, So, don't close this month.
That's awesome.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, that is
but
awesome.
everything is
we were worried about VA for a while because there was a several month stretch that there was just nothing we could do unless they had significant cash. Yeah. Which, because you can always like guarantee an appraisal gap and do all these things, it's just VA was tough for a minute.
But they were believers. I told them the only way you won't get a house is if you quit. They didn't quit. And kept at it. And then, I mean, the flip side of that is you never know what the seller situation is, what's motivating them, you know? And so in this case, the sellers didn't give a damn about, I mean, yes, they wanted to make the most money possible, but they also just wanted a seemingly lovely buyer to come in and take over their home and love it like they did, and help them move towards their goals to buying out in Colorado. So it was just timing. Yeah. You know, they weren't trying to play any games and waste time going back and forth with anybody. So it's a good day.
Listen to your representation, folks. That's a great that's a great lesson there. Yeah. Well, I think my favorite moment was D-Car and G-Car whenever they hosted their party.
Oh, Anthem?
Yeah. No, it wasn't at the Anthem. It was at, where was it?
I thought y'all were at Anthem.
It's over. It was in the Wharf. It was at the Wharf. It just wasn't at the Anthem. It was somewhere else. I don't think. Maybe what? I don't even know, guys. All I know is that it's been a long time since like we've really not associated. That's not the right word. How would you say this? Like we used to be socialized. It's been a long time since we've socialized with our realtor family, and like we used to do this a lot. Like we were really involved in our associations, and I was involved on the national level in some capacity, and like it's been interesting, like with COVID, like really diminishing that, and like so this is the first time back that we've had an in-person event, and I did not realize how much I missed it and how much I loved those people and had a blast. Like on Monday night we went to the National YPN gathering, which was really nice. Like we got to meet some of our
Washington State folks. And
West Virginia was there, and all over the country, Alabama, Ohio, anywhere and everywhere. So it was really good seeing all those guys. Missouri, California, Florida, like everywhere. Basically everywhere you could imagine they were there. And so being able to see them and just catch up with everybody and see everybody's beautiful face, and it was a good
exchange horror stories. Yeah, kidding.
Yeah, exchange horror stories. It was amazing. And then on Tuesday night, I got to dance, and I danced all night. Like I was thriving. Like, we had dance circles. It was awesome.
I was asleep.
Yeah, she was asleep. She's like, I can only go out once. So
Yeah.
she chose the YPN night.
Yeah, Monday was it for me.
Yeah, what did Kelly say? Finally made one. Morning, beautiful women. Good morning, beautiful Kelly.
And Kelly, we're going to see you at the
wine event. Yeah.
May 22nd.
Yeah. Plug that too. So for all of you beautiful friends out there, in fact, I think that probably that's a great, almost like a wrap up in a way, like positivity, like reflecting on our life and where we've come and what we're doing and where we're going and all the things.
To wineries.
To wineries. We going to a winery. So our first client appreciation event for 2022 is scheduled, and if you guys check your email. Awesome. The Eventbrite link has been posted out.
Or you can follow our IG. It's definitely on our
on our
bio.
Instagram, on our bio, for sure. So we are going back to Potomac Point Winery, and we've got the fajita man coming. So we're going to have fajitas, and we went on our little wine tasting. In fact, our casual, he ended up doing his very first wine tasting ever.
Wow!
Yeah, thriving. So cute. He learned all the things about tannins and what goes with what. It was cute. But Potomac Point Winery, she's I want to say the second closest winery to DC. But
it's Paradise Springs the next.
Yeah, either that or Bull Run.
Oh,
yeah. So
right.
but I think I want to say that Bull Run is equally as far as Paradise Springs.
Yeah.
Or not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, right. Potomac Point actually has some really good wine. So we went there last year, and we rented the cabana this year, and we're gonna have food and music and wine and all the things. So that is on the 22nd. Yeah. From what time to what time?
12 to 2?
From 12 to 2.
Question mark?
Yeah. So if you guys and I've been getting questions like, oh, can I bring a +1? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like this is our time to socialize and love each other and just catch up. So yeah, please bring a friend. We would love to see them. We'd love to meet everybody. Bring them into the East Ivy family.
Plug for Angie. Just make sure you RSVP or else you're going to give Angie a heart attack.
It's true.
She is doing an incredible job, as she always does with every single one of our events. So... 12 to 4. Thank you, Angie. See?
She knows.
I'm like, I knew I had to be here at 12. But yeah, so make sure you RSVP so that we can kind of have a rough idea of how many bodies will be there, and we can make sure we've got all the yummy goodies for everyone.
Yeah. So that's plug number 1. Please do come to our event. Let us know. Shoot us. You can also shoot us a text if you don't have the Eventbrite link. We can just send that to you, or we can just RSVP for you. Yeah. And then second thing, for all you agents out there who are looking for a home, I think we have one for you here at East Ivy if you want to have a conversation on what it looks like to have a nice, high-producing team with beautiful functions. In fact, that's probably another one of my happiest moments is our operations are finally to a point that is like I am thrilled by. Like Rhea is killing it.
Yes,
Hugh did a great job. Angie did a great job. Like we have this beautiful toolkit that is a visual representation of everything that we offer. So let's chat, folks. Let's have a great conversation about what it means to be on a team so you can bring all your clients to a fabulous wine event and more. Anyway, we love you guys. We will see you hopefully next weekend or next week. Who knows?
Yeah, you guys have one scheduled for Wednesday.
I just need to get Jen back on this whole realty train.
I'm here! I had a ticket today.
All right, guys. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Toots.